5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Beautiful Thursday morning. Hope you're doing well. Every morning, at least weekday morning, you hear Robert and I talking to Galen Unold from Life South Community Blood Centers. And one of the sponsors of Life South, Galen's visit with us from Life South, is Palm Garden of Ocala. And Jan Marino has been a friend of ours for a long time. She's not in the room right now. She sort of is, but she told me to say she's not. But anyway, so Jan has been instrumental in us really understanding how this whole profession helps us out in so many different ways. And gosh, I don't think anything really impacted me more than a recent visit. It was a fun visit. We went to do a video and some photography for Palm Garden for their wine and cheese event. But my gosh, what an education we got. Thank you for inviting us to do that. We have in the studio 4 ladies whom we met. Is it whom or who, Robin? Whom we met on that day. And they demonstrated how they help people recover from one thing or another. And I think specifically today we're going to talk about Parkinson's disease, although if I'm wrong, you guys can correct me. You ladies can correct me. I'm the only guy in the room right now, Robin.
I know. Aren't you lucky?
I'm having a testosterone overload or something. Fritz Dubose, am I saying your name right? Fritz?
Yes, that's right.
Your last name Dubose?
Yes.
Or Dubas?
Dubose.
Okay. You are a physical therapist. Good to
Yes.
see you again. You helped us so much with that video. Otherwise, we didn't know what we were looking at. A zero gravity treadmill.
Yeah, yes, the Alter G.
Okay. What do you call it?
Alter G.
Alter G. Okay. Amy Bauer?
Yes.
How did I say your last name, all right?
Yes,
Bauer, you are a doctor of occupational therapy.
that's correct.
I had my notes here before we went on the air. I know you all know that. Joyce Reed, you impressed me so much, and I was so impressed by what you do. You had that device that helped people swallow.
Yes, Vital Stem.
Vital Stem is what it was called. And you know why it impressed me? I think I explained this to you because my dad could have used it toward the last days of his life, last 6 months maybe of his life. And I'll have some questions about that, actually. You are a speech pathologist. You got a whole bunch of initials, but speech pathologist is how we narrow it down. And then Patricia, oh my gosh, Kowalchuk? Kowalczyk?
Yes.
Okay. You are a certified occupational therapist assistant, and you were actually working with Amy that day, weren't you? Yes. See, I remember. See, this is why videos are good. It embeds it in my brain. And Jira is not here either, but Jira is beautiful sitting in the corner over there. Not on camera, not on microphone, not even here. Not even here. And you were also with the zero gravity thing. And I mean, I'm just talking to you as if you were here, but
That's right.
right. Well, ladies, thank you for coming in today.
Well, thank you for having us.
helping us
Yeah,
educate. Are we focusing on how you can help somebody with Parkinson's specifically?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we,
And is that the program called Big and Loud? Is that one?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, who wants to be the first to give a overall? What does Big and Loud actually mean?
Big and Loud is, Loud initially started in speech therapy. It was developed for an individual with Parkinson's disease so that her family could understand her better. And her name was Mrs. Lee Silverman, and the program is named after her. The speech therapy component of it focuses on producing a louder voice that's better understood. Parkinson's patients tend to have degenerative changes, and those changes affect the throat, all of the muscles of the face and the tongue, and that affects the individual's speech. So gradually they become quieter and quieter, and it's more difficult for people to hear them.
Oh, really?
So the loud portion of LSVT focuses on the speaking and the voice. The big portion of the program is the physical and occupational therapy part, and that was developed a little bit later, but I think works on the same premise as, using larger movements, teaching a patient to use what they have in bigger ways. And that's what we do with the voice. We train a patient to produce a louder voice, but not a screaming voice,
Okay.
a voice that's healthy.
Like as if you're running for president, that kind of a voice?
with enough respiratory support for loudness, and then also for stimulation for the laryngeal muscles and all the muscles of the face for speaking.
Wow. How did she figure this out?
Well, it was a speech pathologist who developed it for this individual, and she took some techniques that existed and she put them together in a very stringent protocol that's very intense. And I think the intensity of the protocol is part of what helps these Parkinson's patients.
So is it hard? Is it hard to somebody with Parkinson's? You're with them. You're the therapist. You're saying speak loud. Is it a real challenge for them physically?
Well, we tell them to think loud because we do exercises for them to actually achieve the vocal loudness. And we use a sound pressure meter so we can measure in decibels exactly where the voice is falling. So it gives the patient a way to see too if they're hitting their target.
Really?
One of the other things that this program focuses on that maybe some others don't is that in addition to the motor function, improving the muscles and the structures, it also has a sensory component, and that you have to recalibrate the patient to hear himself louder and understand that that's an adequate loudness, because he's been talking quieter and quieter and quieter, and to him, that's an adequate loudness. So we have to recalibrate him
Oh, wow, okay.
to understand and to hear himself and to produce the voice that's adequate.
And
not a screaming voice, but an adequate loud voice.
But that therapy does more than just help that person be heard, right?
Yes.
Does it help with the swallowing?
Yes, it does, because it's all the same musculature. It can help with the swallowing, and it also can help with the facial masking that you see with Parkinson's disease. Everything kind of becomes immobile and the faces are expressionless. Well, this gets everything moving again.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. So you're actually asking them to act a little bit, it sounds like.
Well, asking them to move in an exaggerated fashion, big.
Amy and Patricia, you showed me a video when I was there of a man who had been, he had a cane.
Yes.
And then he didn't need the cane after therapy. Was the same therapy used, but in a different way for him? Just exaggerating everything?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, explain how that works and why that works.
With the movements, we work on, once again, like speech therapy or speech pathologists work on with the voice. We work on larger, bigger movements. We work on their trunk control. What else?
Yeah, and then what usually for the Parkinson's is their movement is so small. So our goal is to really teach them how to, like movement perception, we teach them how to feel big. At first, they feel so much big as if there's like a giant, so we have to recalibrate it. We have to normalize it during our treatment.
They feel too big?
Yes.
Boy, if I ever get to this stage, I'm going to feel huge.
The first treatment is...
Can you imagine me like that, Jan?
Yeah.
All right, Larry, you're going to have to feel big. All right. Okay,
That's why everything for them is small. Like they step, small step. They feel like confined. So the first session will be feeling big. They feel so big. The first concern is, I am too big. So we have to regulate it. Yes.
It's the sensory part that they have to recalibrate how they feel about moving their body and with their voice.
And to us, they might be moving at a regular, we will be moving at a regular movement.
Right.
But they believe in their interpretation and their perception of what they're seeing is that they're exaggerating, they're making way too big of movements, whereas they're not. They're actually making very small movements. And so we try to help them acknowledge that they need to make bigger movements.
And they do. And then
Yes.
so eventually they realize it's
They do.
normal, even though it sounds big to them
Yes.
or loud to them.
And
So
What
they're-
about going to the library? Does that help? I mean, because everybody's quiet in the library.
they would fit in right in at the library, unfortunately.
In Parkinson's, oh my gosh, my job tends to be silly, but I want to ask a serious question without sounding silly. What I know about Parkinson's is very little. I know there's shaking. Does this help with the shaking? Does any of this therapy help with that?
So with Parkinson's, aside from shaking, we call it tremor, they have postural instability, like balance problem. So with the tremor, we cannot really treat the tremor, but they have medication for tremor. So as a
I
physical
see.
therapy,
Okay.
we are focusing on postural movement, like balance, strengthening, whole body movement for their functional, like sometimes they have difficulty to get in and out of the car. So with the big movement, we incorporate it with our treatment, how to get in and out of the car, how to get in and out of the bed, how to transfer, how to walk, bigger movement.
Really?
So we're not more on the tremor, but rather on the...
I'm so amazed at what you ladies do and the fact that you do it. The patience you must have. That wasn't a pun. Ladies, we have to take a break. And so we'll be right back. We've got weather and a few commercials. As soon as I push my buttons over here, and we will be right back.
3. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk. and
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show, too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
You can't put it off any longer. It's time to replace your home's AC system.
The answer is ASolvesItAll.com and an exceptionally efficient AC system. Let the pros at A show you how you can save on energy monthly and give your family added comfort. The great thing is that ASolvesItAll.com is on call 7 to 7, 7 days a week at no extra charge.
For a limited time, mention WOCA and get a special discount.
Call 877-765-4ACE or ASolvesItAll.com.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show, too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Stay with us and sleep better at the Sleep Inn and Suites of Ocala Bellevue, located next door to Don Garlett's Museum and a few minutes from Florida Horse Park. Our award-winning, newly refreshed Sleep Inn and Suites offers comfy, clean rooms, free fast Wi-Fi, and service with a smile. Start your day with a deluxe hot breakfast and unwind in our heated outdoor pool. Our convenient 24-hour fitness and business centers allow you to stay on track whether you're here to play or to work. That's Sleep Inn and Suites Ocala Bellevue, proud sponsor of Marion County High School football. Nestled in the heart of horse country, just off I-75 exit 354, the award-winning and newly refreshed Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala invites you to pamper yourself in one of our comfy guest rooms. Enjoy our free and fast Wi-Fi, heated outdoor swimming pool, 24-hour fitness center, and our deluxe continental breakfast. Other on-site amenities include a restaurant, putt-putt golf, and a car wash. Go happy, go Hojo at the Howard Johnson Inn of Ocala, proud sponsor of Friday Night High School football on WOCA, The Source.
Putting the local back into radio. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. WOCA News. Variety. Information. Now. Keep your arms and legs on the inside at all times.
WOCA. AM 1370.
96.3. 96.3 FM.
All right, beautiful Thursday morning, 18 minutes after 11 o'clock from Palm Garden of Ocala. Fritz DuBose is here, Amy Bauer, Joyce Reed, and Patricia Kowalchuk. Forgive me for mispronouncing your names, ladies. What you do is amazing. You're all in therapy, and one of the things that came up during the break is sort of kind of piggybacks on a question I had. So if somebody is shuffling and they've got the small steps, or they're speaking low, is that often a symptom of Parkinson's? Is that something that people observe first before they're ever diagnosed?
Sometimes, yes.
Really?
Yes.
So if somebody's diagnosed first before those things start happening, are you able to cut it off at the pass and stop them?
We're able to do some preventative treatment, but Parkinson's is a progressive degenerative disease, and so we're trying to forestall the regression or the progression of the disease. And with the Lee Silverman program, what we found for the speech therapy part, for the OT and PT too, is that the effects of the program are up to 2 years post-treatment. So you can have benefit for up to 2 years after you've had this Lee Silverman training. And then you would maybe need to come back and have a refresher and go through it again.
Some of the devices you showed me were embedded in my mind, the zero gravity thing, for example, the throat thing.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like everything you're talking about, though, is just doing it themselves. It's almost like an exercise. Are
It
those
is exercise.
It is exercise, and they're given also homework to work on every day. And something that they have to maintain. It's 16 visits for 4 weeks, and every day that they go home, they have to complete the homework in order to keep the program going.
Oh, really? And you can measure success somehow?
Oh, yes.
Yes, we do a pre-test and a post-test to get the results. But the homework that Trish was talking about, it's important from an occupational therapy standpoint, as well as a physical therapy, that there are activities that they're always going to be doing, functional, and that's the most important, is functional. So it's not like you're going to sit down and do like a math homework assignment. It's you're working on reaching up into the cupboard to grab that glass, and maybe you're having problems with that, or getting in and out of the tub, or in and out of the car. So we break it down during these therapy sessions.
And apply it to function.
Yes, and apply it. So we work on, break it down into each step, and then we put it together, so that's the whole fluid movement of getting in and out of a car. You have to break it down and look at it that way.
And is that part of the article? Is that in the article that
Yes.
you've written, Amy? Because you
Yes.
took great pains to write this article that will be published.
Yes, it's broken down. So like Trish said, there's 16 sessions over 4 weeks. And as the therapist, the evaluating therapist, when you come in, you're evaluated, and we discuss what goals, things they want to work on. And then we break our therapy sessions based upon that. So part of the session for the OT and PT is doing just the exercises, getting them so they're not as rigid, so they're opened up and they can move more fluid. The second part then is working on these components that are so important for them, doing the reaching up into the glass, or to grab a glass, working on stepping to help them get in and out of a car. And then at the very end, we put it together. So we do all the motions, and they actually reach for that cup and bring it back down, and maybe they fix themselves a cup of coffee.
A lot of the times, we will also incorporate the family member with the learning how to do the exercises, so that when the patient goes home to do their homework, they're working with them, so they know how to keep working with their loved one.
Who gets more frustrated, the family members or the patient
It's
themselves?
both. It's both. So basically, it's just what they said. It's a set of exercise. It's an hour session. 50% of that an hour, like 30 minutes, will do all the big movement, whole body movement. Then the 50% of that, or the second half, would be your functional. It means if they come in during the evaluation and the wife will complain, my husband has difficulty to brush their teeth. So the 30 minutes will focusing on brushing their teeth, how to do it big. Or the wife will tell me he has difficulty of getting out of the bed in the morning. So the 30 minutes will be focusing on the process, how to roll over, how to get up from bed, and then the other half will be like walking. So more on walking, big steps.
So it sounds like every patient maybe has something specific about that person that gives you all challenges, right?
It's very individual.
Does something else combined with Parkinson's perhaps make it more difficult? I'm trying to think of something like maybe arthritis. Like if you have arthritis and Parkinson's, reaching up to that cupboard might be hard. So how do you deal with that when there's a double thing happening?
That is where our training and our schooling comes into place. We adapt and we make it individualized. So we take that into account. If they have other problems, deficit areas that we have to work on, we make it so that they're able to achieve their goal and that they're successful.
You ladies should be the ones that should go to Washington and address this issue, because you have famous people like Michael J. Fox that talks about it, but I haven't heard him go into the depths as you ladies have to really explain how to help people with Parkinson's.
And you also have to be certified in order to do this program for LSVT big and loud, and our facility is one of the few facilities around that actually we have a physical, we have a speech certified, we have PT, OT certifications. So we're one of the few areas that actually concentrates on having all, otherwise you'd have to go to another building to have a speech pathology evaluation, or maybe go to another building to have physical therapy. We also offer outpatient, and so we're able to incorporate, we could see all three disciplines would be able to work with this patient instead of having to travel and go different places.
We're talking about Palm Garden, of course, of Ocala, and the therapy. The one thing I like about doing videos like this is that people can share them, and if you're listening and you can relate to this, or you know somebody who might be able to relate to this, please share the video with them. Gosh, I lost my train of thought, Robin. When you're talking about a limited amount of time that they come in to see you, after they're done with that, do they continue doing this for the rest of their lives?
Yes.
So you're, in a sense, you're teaching them how to do this. Okay.
During the first day, during the evaluation day, together with their family, because we want the family to involve with the exercise or the program, we handed them home exercise, a series of activity. The same activity we'll do at the clinic, but they have to do it daily at home. So it's really intensive exercise.
So they're doing it for the rest of their lives.
Yes, it should be it should be whatever exercise you have to do, you have to do it the rest of your life.
And do you handle the emotional aspect of it also? Because sometimes when people have an affliction, they don't want to leave the house. How do you get them to go outside and go do things, go to the store, go to the movies, things like that?
Well, we
Confidence.
we tend to do, I think, a lot of counseling with our patients, because we're one-on-one with them, and they tell us things and talk to us about their concerns.
You get to know them.
Yes, we do. We really get to know them very well. So I think just through encouragement and showing them the kind of progress they're making, also helping them to understand, is this the kind of life that they want to live for the rest of their life? Do they want to stay in the house? Do they want to not talk on the phone? Do they want to not, talk to a family member?
Right. Is it fair to say that 10 years ago this therapy wasn't around, that this is newer therapy, or is that?
It's been around, the speech part has been around for about 20, 25 years. And it's actually, the big and loud is actually taught globally now. It's all around the world. There are training sessions in this program because it is so successful.
Shira, did you want to say something?
Yes, if I may interrupt and just answer Robin's question in here. This is why we're very thankful for situations like this, wherein we're invited, to talk about what we love to do. True enough that we get so very confined in the environment that we live in, but we can't seem to have so much of that resource to be able to tell everyone that this is something, the LSVT program is something that we can actually offer at Palm Garden. And it's also one way of us, perhaps, through you guys, to be able to reach out to our neurologists in town, to let them know.
So they know about,
Yes,
right,
sir.
That's really
to
important,
let them know, Yes, to let them know that this is something that, although not so out there, but perhaps not so very popular, if I can say that, to be able to let them know and be able to reach out to them as well, that these patients that they have that are newly diagnosed with Parkinson's can definitely benefit.
That's a really good point, Jira.
From doing this.
In the mornings, we always encourage people to go take a tour, but we forget to tell the doctors to take a tour. So you're making a really good point. Doctors should be showing up also to see what you ladies are doing.
And if the doctors do come in at the very beginning of the diagnosis, it can help the patient prolong the effects that they'll have from Parkinson's completing this program. And then they usually do get reevaluated after a 6-month period, or if the family notices that there is a decline, they can come back in and be reevaluated, and we would start the program again.
I wanted to see if we could get a success story out there, but we've only got like 40 seconds. Did you want to say something, Jen?
Of course. If Dr. Jarrett's going to be on, then I am as well. I just wanted to mention, since we were talking about the neurologists, and we have neurologists out in Ocala that do ask specifically if we are certified, and so I'm happy to tell them that we are. Typically, Palm Garden gets our new guests from the hospital. But if you are a Parkinson's patient or you know someone who is, you can go to the neurologist and you can actually come to Palm Garden on an outpatient basis and get the training as well.
give
So
the
you
phone
don't
number.
have to have a hospital stay.
Jan, we got 15 seconds. What's the phone number?
It's 854-6262.
Jan, Jira, Fritz, Amy, Joyce, and Patricia, thank you, ladies, for what you do and for coming in to share it with us. Everybody else, share this video. Visit Palm Garden and see for yourself. Ask questions, and doctors go out too. Thank you, everybody. We'll be right back.
News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Democratic officials say they're concerned another batch of internal messages may be made public soon.
Several Democratic officials have been notified that Russia